Hello and welcome to Four Beers In. I am Brendan.
I'm Matt.
Marco.
Timmy.
It's awesome. You stay the same every time. It's almost like Timmy.
Oh no.
Timmy.
Timmy! Timmy!
Today's topic is Halloween.
This week's topic.
This week is, yes, this week's topic. Normally I try to talk about beers, but we're kind of sipping on some of the same stuff.
It's going to be a lot of the
so
same stuff for probably the winter.
Well, no, actually, I think the next keg I'm bringing home is going to be the amber.
All right, it'll change 4 times in the next 9 months.
Right. It just depends on how fast we drink that keg. But Tam's Berry Seltzer is probably always going to be on
Not
tap.
beer.
I'm looking forward to the amber.
You
That's one of my
what?
favorites. Well, I like amber beer.
We might have to have 2 amber kegs.
Seltzer's not beer, Marco.
I finished the Kona Brewing
Kona, Hawaii's not a state.
from our friend Brian Jennings. I think
Oh,
he
thanks,
got this
B.
from the pub because they had like a rep there.
No. That can he got me a little mix pack because there was the wheat beer and then there was a cream ale.
Both not beer.
And yeah, kind of what Matt said a little bit. Like the cream ale was okay, but that wheat one, me and wheat beers, we don't typically get along well.
You didn't like this one?
No, I started getting a headache about 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah.
And most wheat beers do that for me. Now, I have not had our newest batch of wheat over at Frolic, but I was able to get a full blackberry wheat down and not have a headache. But
Do
I
you
didn't
like
want to
wheat
take a
beers, Matt?
second
No,
one. So.
I
No.
do not like wheat
You
beers.
probably would not like this.
No.
Yeah, I'm not
But
a
I was
wheat
gonna
beer
say,
fan.
as far as flavored beers, this tastes more beer-like. And the flavors are
Oh.
kind of more like notes, and it has orange, lime, pineapple, and those kind of tropical notes because it's a
Is
Hawaiian themed.
Is that the
brewery.
pineapple one?
It just says wheat ale, but it says orange, pineapple, and lime.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I have not given wheat a fair chance, admittedly. I remember Pyramid having a wheat beer back in the day and Blue Moon, and I didn't care
Ooh,
for
no
either of
Blue
those.
Yeah, I hate Blue Moon.
And if I don't like 2, then I probably will just stop trying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been 20 years. I can try another wheat beer.
You guys don't like Blue Moon?
No.
Well, the same thing. It gives me headaches, and that's why I've chalked it down
That's a
to
Coors beer,
for
right?
me and wheat beers.
Who does
well, it
Shock
is
Top?
now.
Shock Top was another one I
Sh-
tried.
Oh, shit.
That's
Why
a-
am
is
I
that a-
not-
is
I
that a
should
New
know
Belgian?
that.
I think so.
It might
I can
be.
picture
I think
the
it's a New
box.
Belgium.
I'm
They
gonna
put
have
an.
to-
They kind of introduced me to putting an orange in beer.
Yeah,
in.
Shock Top was kind of
Oh.
the copycat of Blue Moon,
Yeah.
but I think Shock Top has more of that orangey.
Yeah, well, they put a wedge of orange in it, and I was just like, if you need to do this, you're doing something wrong with your
So
beer.
it is a Belgian wheat, and
Is it a new
Coriander
Is
is
it a New
the other.
Belgian brewery though?
they're kind of their own.
Really?
Coriander
That's all they do?
Yeah.
the
Tell me
other.
they're out of business.
Shock Top?
Shock Top is its own brand.
Yeah, Shock Top.
That's what Mark Cuban would say. You got a product, you don't got a company. And all
Hand-
the other sharks would agree.
Hand Family Companies.
Never heard of it, unless it's a left-hand brewery subsidy.
Oh, you
Because
know
I do
what?
love left hand.
Website is Shock Top Beer.
Ugh, they're out. They're out. If they're not going to Umbrella under a reputable beer
But
maker,
these days,
they're
beer
out.
brands are kind of getting bought and sold a lot too.
Ooh, New Belgian dig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And Blue
Blue Moon is Coors. Blue Moon is Coors.
And
Blue Moon is
actually-
Coors.
The only
Coors.
Coors beer I
Coors.
think I can get away with a little bit is Killian's Red Coors.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
And I
Killian's
can,
is
I'm-
is Coors?
I think
Yes.
so. And I can
pretty
do
sure.
them.
I might have liked that back in the
If
day.
if there's
pinch.
any like beer connoisseur people out there more than us that are listening, call us out if we're wrong. But
You know what else is
You only
Coors?
drink it when you don't live here.
Yeah.
that's exactly it. I mean, we go back east to Buffalo area or whatever, and
Oh, my
people ask us all
brother-in-law.
about
That's all he'll
Coors,
drink is
Coors
Coors
Light,
Light.
like the banquet beer.
My brother-in-law only drinks Blue Moon until he stopped drinking, but he would
Oh.
only drink
Yeah,
Blue
I'm
Moon.
Like, what the hell?
Like, I
there's
can't
so
hang with
much
you
better
anymore.
beer.
When you
I had
get
to
close enough to the brewery
yeah.
and you smell it, like I love when we're brewing beers. In fact, it's going to be rough for me tomorrow morning because the brewer wants to brew at like 6 a.m. and here I'm going to be 4 or more beers in. So getting up early is going to suck. But the smell, Like when we're brewing, every part of the process smells great
It's
to me.
drinkable bread. basically.
Pretty much. But
That's literally what beer is.
I've been to, well, I've not been in the Coors Brewery in over 20 years, but we've
Yep.
been there and drove past many a times because it's right in the heart of Golden. It never smells good, ever. And I don't think Budweiser has ever really impressed me with their smell driving by.
Oh yeah, the
So,
Anheuser has a
yeah,
Fort Collins facility.
I'm just kind of like, if
That's
you're not,
anything super corporate. They use a bunch of preservatives and artificial stuff to keep its shelf life because they got to
yeah.
ship it.
We've
cross
used some
country.
artificial stuff from time to time because sometimes it's
But-
cost effective depending on the flavors. But I mean, when you've got a brewmaster like the guy I work for, he's going to try and get as authentic as possible. When I mean, if it's going to be super expensive, like for our black cherry, or no, it's going to be chocolate cherry porter. We couldn't use real cherries. Just because in order to do real cherries, we would have had to like steam and cook them, peel them, pit them, and all of that kind of process. So we had to find an artificial flavor that didn't taste like Robitussin, which took a few tries, but we did it. And
So
then
what
we
you're
used
saying
real
is,
fudge.
Ludens, hello.
But they had real fudge.
Yeah, but we
Saying
used
is
real
Lil Wayne's
fudge.
not going to be by Frolic.
Or
Probably
Chris
not.
Rock.
No.
Chris Rock's parents probably
Flavor
in no
Flav
show
is
as
not
well.
going to make an appearance.
But you know what else is Coors is Colorado Native, and between Blue Moon, Colorado
Actually.
Native, and Killian's, if you
But
got to trick
they
me into
still are pretty independent from what I've.
Hold on, though. I want to hear what he
Really?
wants
Yeah.
to finish. What you were
'Cause I
saying.
forgot
'cause-
Colorado
If-
Native.
if-
I didn't realize that was Coors.
I was gonna say if you got to trick me into drinking you, then you're a shitty company. Because I had a Colorado Native before I read the label, and it's brewed by or distributed by Coors Brewing Company at least. Maybe it's just distributed.
Distributed is different from
Yeah.
Maybe, but
The
I
only
would
way I tried
rather
Native
keep
is-
the C word out of my mouth.
That's
so
funny.
Curious.
take that, you cunt.
The only time I've ever tried
Coors or
the native
Coors?
beer is when we were at the liquor store and they offer you, here, buy a 6-pack and you get this free glass.
Yeah, I
And
think
I was like, ooh, that's a cool glass.
I for a second there, I thought that was the glass I was drinking out of.
I
But
actually have it.
you're drinking out of it. You're drinking seltzers out of it.
But
That's
stuff
awesome.
always
Way to
tastes
show the
good
camera,
if it's
Tim.
free. That's what Coors knows.
Pretty
and
much.
Budweiser.
Oh, you think so?
got
But
me at the
they,
cup.
I'm pretty sure they eliminated the free tasting at the end of their tour, and now you got to pay
See,
for it.
That's what they did. All right, at
Wait, no,
SeaWorld.
you don't get 2 glasses of like this long, skinny thing that you think.
I
is
haven't
a
been
lot
there
of
for
beer.
as long as Brendan, but I heard that they did away with the free
Oh,
samples.
that was the only reason to go.
I know
was?
they had a holiday brew that it was so good it made me mad that they don't make that year round. It was a dark, and I was like, why can't this just be your regular? I might like Coors if they didn't always have shit in the supermarket.
Well, and the thing is they probably use shit for their base grain and they
Maybe.
write all their recipes off of that. But I was gonna go somewhere with
This is
that.
getting off the rails.
Well, we were talking alcohol.
Bring
I
it
guess
back
we're,
to Halloween.
Yeah, shit. Well, you did mention holiday beer.
There's good
and
Halloween beer.
This time
Well,
of year.
I guess October.
Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Fall beer.
The Sam Oktoberfest is not too shabby. As far as like Oktoberfest beers go, that's probably one of the better ones that I can recall having. The Sam Winter Lager, I really like. Anything out of Sam is pretty decent, but that Winter Lager, I think, in my opinion, is the best out of Sam Adams stuff. We brewed a pumpkin. We have an Oktoberfest that's about to come out. We're probably going to call it a Marzen since October is pretty much over. And then the sweet potato, but is that a Thanksgiving kind of thing? Like,
yes,
do you guys
sweet potato
where
is
does sweet potatoes
exclusively
and yams
Thanksgiving.
to you? Yeah. I'm not a fan of it, no matter
Neither
where,
am
how
I.
it's cooked,
Neither am I.
brewed, nothing. Like
That's just a
there's-
preference because I don't like sweet beer.
I don't like sweet potato, so I don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Brendan on this one. It's sweet potato pie, especially
yuck.
when you have a choice between sweet potato and pumpkin. I'll pick pumpkin.
I'm not a fan of either. I bring
Me either.
I bring a
Where's the
pecan.
apple?
Yeah. Oh,
And-
exactly.
It's the only time of year I'll eat pecan pie because it makes me
Flavor
feel
wise,
terrible.
I can agree with you, but pecan pie is so rich.
Yes, that's why I only had
It is rich.
I have it once
You
a
need
year.
a lot of whipped
It's
cream.
like
I will
candy
do
pie.
like a tip of a slice of pecan
the
pie.
tip?
Just the tip.
Just the tip. I will
Marco likes the tip.
I will deep throat that pecan slice.
That's too rich. That's too rich for.
But
my
it will be
blood.
next November before I have a second. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But it is the only tradition I have in my sad little life.
Or unless you have like a huge thing of black coffee, I'll do a full slice of pecan pie. 'Cause
Coffee and
you-
pecans, huh?
You need something to cut that sweet.
What about a coffee stout?
Pie?
Do you
Now
have
you're
with
talking.
it?
Now
Yeah,
you're talking.
yeah. That'll hit the tap as soon as we kill the pail.
If you aren't
Anyway,
if you aren't already passed out at Thanksgiving, Brendan has some tips for you.
We
Yes.
should do a Thanksgiving show in like a month. But now, let's
now
talk about
let's
Halloween.
go back to Halloween.
AKA pre-Thanksgiving.
Well, and
They need candy corn bears.
It's basically
Well-
children's Thanksgiving, right?
well,
Kind
really
of,
though,
it's like-
because I mean,
'Cause
as an
Every
adult,
dish is candy.
If children were going to have a feast, I mean, come on, it'd be peanut butter cups and Snickers.
Yum.
Okay, so I did that, once. And it was
We
more
have
because my
another
parents
shitty
did it.
Brendan story.
Well,
Bastard Brendan.
this is a new segment we're gonna call Bastard Brendan. And this time,
I'm going to get your dad a Father's Day gift next year just because of all these stories I've heard.
And this was actually probably one of his ideas. So growing up as kids, we didn't have a whole lot of sodas, chips, candy.
Love, affection,
Probably
shelter.
that too, along with it. Like
They're all locked up in the lockbox.
You ever see flowers? You ever see flowers in the attic?
I was just going to say that.
I was the kid in the attic.
That was the
Arsenic
really pale
candy.
one. Yeah.
My parents got
I wasn't the one that died at the end, but I was close to it.
my parents got really tired of us kids asking for candy, sweets, and shit like that. So they decided to have junk food day. And basically what it was is from the second we got up to the second we got to sleep, no matter what we ate, it was junk food. I mean, it was chips, it was candy, it was like there's no pretzels.
This
or
is like that
anything
movie. What's that movie? The Purge. This is like
Why
the
is
kids'
that?
Purge.
A little bit. And I think my parents, if you ask them what their intentions were, I think
To
it
break
was
you
to-
of the.
It was
Yeah.
a purge, though. They wanted
Yeah.
one less kid.
It's like
into the next year.
we overextended ourselves.
Well, and the thing was, is
There- it's the whole smoke the whole pack of cigarettes thing. It's
Kinda,
the let's
yeah.
get you sick of it.
exactly,
Yeah,
and
we
it
all get
worked
that.
for me. But I also lasted the longest. So they also rubbed it in our faces, and so they would make like omelets and nice breakfast with bacon and things like that. But no, I had to have the Snickers and the Reese's Pieces.
You do
and-
know that bacon is horrible for you, right?
right? But this wasn't a part of the junk food day. And then so for
Bacon
dinner,
is junk food, to be clear.
Yeah,
Dipped
it
in
is.
chocolate.
Yeah, that would have been different. That's
They
what I
make
should
that
have
only in
done.
America.
It is.
Yes.
Can you
good.
get bacon covered in chocolate?
Maple?
You
too.
could probably get there isn't much anything worse than that. Deep fried Snickers or deep fried Twinkies.
I've had a deep fried Oreo.
Oh,
I've
Only
never had any of
once.
that.
It was good, but I would never eat it again.
And you're like, why did I take 2 years off of my life? for this?
Is it worth it?
You're like, this was good, but I don't know if it was worth taking 2 years off of my life.
Somewhere in my mom's box of pictures, because this was before the digital age, there's a picture of what I had for dinner, which was pretty much like sour cream and onion chips, a Snickers bar, a couple of Reese's, and some other junk food that I don't remember, maybe some Skittles or something. Meanwhile, next to that plate,
Did you put it in a bowl and toss it like a salad? I want to know what motivated your mom to say, wait a minute, I got to take a picture of this.
because they
Click.
had nice steak, and potatoes, and everything else. So it was like what I had for dinner versus what they had for dinner. And it was probably, I mean, it was years before I could actually have a proper like candy bar again. It really fucked me up. Couldn't have sweets. So for
man.
Halloween,
This
I
is
didn't
more
care
than
about
The
trick or
Purge.
treating,
This is more like a weird Saw.
right?
Saw 7.
It gets real creepy here.
You're going to eat candy while I eat this steak in front of you.
Well, I was gonna
How the
ask
tables have turned.
I was
Oh,
gonna
shit.
ask the question, like for
Some
kids,
TV turns on.
was trick or treating about the costumes or the candy?
Oh, the
Both.
candy.
See, for me, it was the costumes. Because at that point,
yeah,
I
would
lost.
say for me, it's the costumes too.
No, it's
like
the
like
candy.
the first night is the candy, but then the candy gets stale, and also you get sick of having candy all the time.
Fuck you. That is not the official
Listen to
position of
that.
this podcast. I still to this day have candy whenever the hell I want because I never had a purge.
I
had
have
to.
too much candy at my mom's house because she didn't have candy growing up, so she overcompensated.
My
we
mom-
always had like a Halloween bag of candy year round. And she's like, "You want some candy, Marshall?" I'm like, no, I don't. I want to eat real food like steak and potatoes, like Brendan.
My mom will have candy all around the house, but it's hidden because my stepdad is type 2 diabetic. So my son and I will kind of scout. And it's just like random like knickknacks that will open and there will be M&Ms in there. Be like, I found some in the dining room under
That's awesome.
we know we're mapping my mom's house for where the hidden
Russian
candy is.
nesting dolls.
The
My
funny
grandma did that. I
the
would
funny
love
thing is
visiting my
she
grandma.
could just not have candy at all, but she has it and then has to hide it in like transformer type devices.
That's
From
awesome.
and the whole rule is don't tell grandpa where it is.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's-
I hide it for myself. Because if it
That
makes-
doesn't work for me. I tried, but I always know where
it
it
doesn't,
is.
It doesn't
Right.
because I'm lazy. So if I'm upstairs and I hide it downstairs, I'm like, oh, it's down there. But it would take like 2 seconds to get there, so I don't want to.
See, I won't go downstairs for like $20 that I know's there.
that's
but
what
for
I'm
a
saying.
Snickers,
So I just have to put
yeah.
it in areas I'm too lazy to go to.
I can start upstairs with a bag of Snickers. Like I'm gonna hide this downstairs. By the time I get there, me and an empty bag. That's it.
That's a lot of Snickers, man.
I love Snickers.
I don't keep candy at my house. That's the reason why.
I bought candy
But
today. Should I tell
so
you that?
you
Oh,
don't
no,
keep
I will
candy
buy-
at the house because you'll eat it, but you don't keep beer at the house because you won't drink it.
I won't. I don't drink solo.
See, I'm like Matt.
I only
don't
drink-
a
I only
lot,
drink
like,
socially.
But candy, I'll seek out.
We need to have a lot more social guys.
I
Although
know,
I'll buy
right?
candy I know Brendan likes that I don't, so I don't eat it.
But I won't buy Halloween candy until Halloween. And
That's
then
what
I'll
I
put
did
it
today.
yeah,
It was
and
the
I
first
won't
time.
I'll put it in a bowl and whatever's left at the end of the day, I do have the self-respect to put it out in a bowl on the stoop and say just hope teenagers will steal it.
Bad.
Yeah.
Because
love
I
trick-or-treaters,
don't want it
though.
left
That's the
over.
best part for me now.
I do too. But I don't get a whole lot of them in my neighborhood, unfortunately.
You don't-
So at the end of the day, I just put the bowl outside and hope someone takes it all. Because if they don't, I'm going to eat it all.
Yeah.
I know
Although
it.
I did get a bag with almond joys, and I probably shouldn't because I love coconut.
Yeah,
I
because you know
never
kids
was-
And I
really
know
love
and
coconut.
he hates coconut.
Yeah,
I think
nobody
it
likes
was-
coconut. You're the only one.
I like almond
Oh.
joys.
I
Marco.
Yeah,
love
but
them.
as a kid,
God damn it. This is why we don't
Yes.
invite you to
Okay.
talk a lot, Marco.
I love them too.
Everything you
That's
say
why I got
offends
the,
me.
The coconut beer.
I wish I didn't buy it now because Brendan won't eat it, and so I know it's going to be me. That's why
she's
I totally
she's right.
did
Like
it.
it's not like I'm gonna sneak that. Now, granted,
I'm like, coconut's really good.
our
for
one
you, though."
client, if she found that, she would probably
Oh
be like,
yeah, she'll. Oh, she's not getting my coconut.
See, now if Tammy and I were together, we'd be 400 pounds each.
Probably.
That's the thing.
We'd roll
I
over.
I
Can
can't
you
be with the
reach it?
enabler. Nope. I am
Get
very.
your grabber, man.
Yeah. I am mean to myself like
instead of
Monica
a
on
punch scoop,
Friends.
it's like
Yeah. I do not treat myself
We can teach the
often.
dogs to fetch it.
instead of a newspaper, go fetch me some
Fetch
candy.
me some
Right.
candy, dog.
Now it's chocolate, so don't eat it.
What is your favorite candy?
Peanut butter cups and Snickers.
And has it always been, or did it change over the course of a
Peanut
half a
butter cups,
lifetime?
yes. I will always kill my mother for a peanut butter cup. Snickers and Twix have gone back and forth
Twix are good too.
over my life.
Those
There
are
are
all
times where Twix is just fucking manna from heaven.
I'm with you. Twix is probably a number one.
Tell
for
me all about
Well,
it. I'm
Twix
getting
are
a
really
beer.
good because they're sweet, but they have that cookie that kind of takes the sweetness out a little bit.
I think
Where
Twix is gonna be the one we all agree on.
Yeah.
Twix you like?
Yeah.
Well, Snickers are really sweet, so you just have to.
Snickers for me were always like a working overnights thing, like a snack to like give you that sugar.
Satisfy your
Well,
hunger kind of
But it
thing.
was never a Halloween thing for me.
Is it like the commercial?
And that was more like as an adult. Like I discovered Snickers as like an energy boost thing.
I'm
when-
kind of with you on that
like
one.
which Snickers kind of
It has peanuts. It's
turned into their
protein.
marketing campaign. They're like,
Snickers is
Well,
heavy.
that's what probably
Yeah.
happened is whoever became their marketing manager realized that Snickers is better for you maybe as an adult to get through and stop being hangry than it is for a kid.
Oh, yeah. That
because-
was a funny ad campaign, actually.
and yeah, it was probably one of the best ones I've seen, especially when it comes to
Oh,
candy.
and I fucking hate commercials with a passion. But those ones where like Aretha Franklin would be in the backseat of a work truck,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "You're not yourself when you're hungry." Those were Those were funny.
Yes, and the thing is I think we all can kind of relate to that. My thing that so back to Twix a little bit.
Kit Kat.
It-
Full disclosure, though, we were talking about Chloe Kim before we started recording, so
Yeah.
the hangry thing
Oh yeah,
was on our minds. But continue.
Yeah. Now I'm back on.
No, but she was famous for saying she was hangry at the snowboarding when she won the snowboarding championship.
She hadn't eaten
She
shit
doesn't
all
like
She had-
day.
snow either.
She did a gold medal run, then she tweeted, "All this waiting around got me hangry," and she became like super famous for that. It's the only reason I know her name.
Was she the
On ridiculousness,
Yeah,
yes.
she doesn't like cold and snow.
Asians, what can you say?
But I loved it because here she's a snowboard queen, and she's like, if it's cold,
But where's
I
she
would rather
from?
sit home and
That's
eat
probably why
burritos."
she's so good
Is
at
she
Here,
Colorado?
Vale.
She's
Fuck
adorable.
yeah.
Yes.
Because if you get good enough at snowboarding, you don't have to touch snow.
Yes.
That's true.
That keeps you from
But it was
falling down. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I should be an awesome water skier because I almost drowned when I was a
I
kid.
can't swim.
Now we'll have
All
to
the more
try.
reason not to fall down.
That's how it's done. That's how we get past our fears.
Yes.
The Twix though, you know, because I'm trying to stay on track. The one thing that got me was the cookies and cream, and they took that away for a while.
You know what's weird about me? I hate every innovation, but I love the original version of everything. I don't like peanut M&Ms or
I'm kinda-
caramel or pretzel.
Oh.
Give me plain M&Ms.
Funny,
I'm not.
I
a
don't
fan
like
of
your
the
dark
Although I
chocolate
kinda wanna try
Snickers.
the brownie
I don't
M&M.
like your almond Snickers. Give me original Snickers. I don't like commercials for Twix. Fucking stupid.
Yeah, they are.
Left
the left
versus
and right.
right.
I hate
Yeah.
the
Ugh.
yeah.
So
I'm
dumb.
glad someone. I hate those commercials where like the right side, left side.
Right side, the whole
Stupid.
polluting
This is
factory
actually
for
a
each
left
side.
Twix.
Yeah, yeah.
Dumb. I hope somebody got fired over that shit.
I
'Cause
do
I
like
haven't-
the M&M.
I don't think they
commercials.
still
I would say
do it.
M&M and Snickers because I do like the
Okay,
little
the,
M&M
the,
guys.
the little M&Ms.
The
we
M&Ms
hate 'em.
only
We ate them.
the M&Ms only come out at Christmas, but once they got like the horny green girl, that was like too far. Too far. Done
The
with you.
green ones make me horny.
Yeah.
Okay.
The green one is supposed to be a sexy.
The actress turns around and she's like, "I will eat you" or something.
Oh, that was Christina
Oh, yeah,
Applegate.
that one was fun.
Yes.
Maybe it's just me, but I can't tell when to find a piece of candy sexy and when not to. I mean, the green one was just a big round candy, so put eyelashes on it. And now what? I'm supposed to jack off to it? I don't get it.
There
Green
probably are
reminds me
some
of
that might.
vomit, like being sick. Like
The
Mr.
internet is
like,
a hell of a place.
that sticker you put
Yes.
on like poison stuff under your sink for kids. That reminds me of green.
Poison stuff?
You remember back in the day?
I never
This is
poisoned
to
my
be
kid.
You didn't?
No.
You'd put those.
How
little
did you
stickers on-
survive?
I don't know. They tried many times.
How many
I'm
did
like
you
a
lose?
cockroach. I don't
Alright,
die.
Yeah. How many brothers and sisters did you lose?
Well, I still have 2 brothers and a sister. So
That
I
you
don't
know
think they're
of?
very good at it.
That you know of.
That's true.
You ever go in that old woodshed?
Not often. It's
No.
filled with bullets and dust.
Filled with a lot of stuff.
Well, we had a barn. We did have a little shed that was scary to go
Yeah,
into.
you were country as fuck.
We were country. And that's what we never had trick or treaters. We live in the country. So now I'm obsessed with it. And so when we moved here a year ago, I can't wait for trick or treaters. And now with fucking COVID, we better get them.
It's hit or miss whether we'll
How are
get
you
a
guys
decent
going to
amount.
handle trick or treating during COVID?
I'm gonna throw
I'm
candy
gonna
in
stock
the streets
up.
if they don't
Gonna
come
use
out.
tongs?
Yeah, I'm
Gonna leave
ready.
The bowl out like Matt?
I'm gonna
Probably. I mean, we kind of.
as far as I
Gonna do
understand.
baggies?
Well, that's not a bad idea, but that also takes time. Although we do have a client that would probably help.
I was thinking she would like to.
I was thinking just wearing rubber gloves.
What
and
I
doing
plan to
it.
do
That's
is
not a bad
yeah,
idea. I've
I'm
got
gonna put
plenty
on
of those.
gloves from the
that's
moment I
smart.
open the bag to pour it in the bowl. I'm gonna wear gloves, and then I'm just gonna distribute it with gloves individually into each bag, and that's my plan.
Do you dress up or put a mask on or anything like that?
No, what I have, and I've had it forever and ever, is a chicken hat that I put on my head, and now I just have a chicken sitting on my head. And that's what I wear every year. I would love to do the whole costume thing, but as a person basically home alone, it's just sad. I don't wanna get out- I don't want to get on any lists, you know?
Oh yeah.
Amber's, Lindsay's, any of the lists. I don't want to be on that list.
I will paint my face.
never
I
liked
don't
to
have any
get-
talent there. You did Aiden's Freddy Krueger phenomenally 2 years ago, but that was awesome. But I don't have talent for the painting the face.
That makeup
could do
lasts
that
forever,
this year.
so I plan on doing that again. I don't know what, and usually when I do myself, I do myself every day.
Yeah, we
Every
talked about
morning.
that before in the last
that
podcast.
darn green M&M.
Oh, that's what maybe. No, that's green is one
The
of the
eyelashes.
colors that are green and reds are really like. It depends, I guess, maybe on the skin tone, but for me, green, red, and blue don't come off easy. And this is water-based makeup, so it should come off pretty easy. But those colors will stick around a little bit longer. Like when I would do the Hulk face, it would take probably 2 days to wash off completely. But I usually do some sort of half-face snarl or like
Yeah.
a two-face kind of thing.
Check out Brendan's Facebook
It's,
for the gallery. It's pretty
Yeah, yeah,
impressive.
yeah. It's about that time where I should probably start reposting
Practicing.
some of those
That's where
pictures and
Brendan shaves
practicing.
his
yeah.
arms.
You should put some of those pictures up on the Four Beers In
I will.
Facebook
Yeah. Okay.
because they're really good. You're really good at it.
Well, I was really good when I was doing it every day for a job, but it's been 15 years or so since I've done that. So I pick up a brush once a year for maybe 2 weeks before Halloween, and that's it. So it's getting the line work back and remembering which colors to shade with first and stuff like that. But that kind of all comes back full circle to, for me, it was always about the costumes. It was always about getting to dress up, getting to do something different. When I was younger, I tried to be the odd one or the weird one. I really kind of took pride in that. So when my friends were all dressing up as fucking Batman and Superman and all the cheesy stuff that you could get at a
I'm too old
Halloween
for that.
store,
So
one
what
of the
you're saying
first
is
costumes that I
You were always a theater kid.
I was. Yeah, I'll own it. I definitely was always kind of the thespian. But the first costume I think I did in junior high was maybe it was elementary. I was a brick. We just took a big box and painted it red. I wanted to be a brick that year. Then one year I was like a boom box. I think Say Anything might have been big at that time.
88?
Yeah.
Or were you
it's,
like
right around then?
Some like 8 years old or something?
9.
9 years old?
9 or 10. Yeah.
That's a heavy movie for a 9-year-old, but I get it.
He loves that movie.
I had a friend like you. Brian Byrne was his name, and he one year came as a centerpiece on a table.
Oh, nice.
His head was in the middle of the table, and the table was literally, he couldn't get through a door because the table was,
Can't go to school, Mom.
he had to hold the fucking thing up underneath the tablecloth, but it had place settings, and his head was just the centerpiece of the table. It was the funniest thing. But he lived right across the street from the school, so his mom could bring it over to him for the parade thing that we did, and didn't have to wear it all
We
the way
had
through.
to walk to school, but I think my favorite one was I was a car one year, and we made it out of cardboard, put flashlights in the front for headlights. I had a little dust buster that I used for the sound of the car. I'd be like, vroom, vroom.
That's
And
further than I
had
would have gone.
Straps.
I would have just used my mouth, like vroom vroom, fucking out of the fucking hallway. Marco, where the hell was that during the car week 2
Oh,
weeks
right,
ago?
right.
I was lazy. I throw
Jesus.
scrubs on. I'm like, I'm a doctor.
Sexy
That's
doctor?
pretty much it.
Whatever-
I hated costumes.
But whatever a woman does is the sexy version of that thing.
So we went
we call it
downtown one year.
Horroween.
Yeah.
Go to Denver.
Yeah, we went downtown one year, and
Yeah.
that was the whole
Must be
point. We
raining
called it
out.
Horroween.
It's kind of like women's version of Pride Week.
But sometimes it's
It's
sad.
not a bad
Some of
way.
the things they whore up, I'm like, oh my god, they just whore up something that really shouldn't be whored up.
JoJo.
I know.
The fuck?
Sorry, we have
What a
da-
dick!
Daneth and a
Yeah.
mastiff in the
What
background.
a
If you hear
dick!
anything
He's
weird,
punching his brother in the face right
In
now.
the fucking head.
yeah, he's only 10 months.
And the throat. Holy shit. This is not a joke. This dog weighs 130 pounds. He's standing on Keith's neck.
Oh, we're not going to do this right
my
now. Hold up.
God.
We might need to take a pause and a
Yeah.
refill.
Time for refills as the...
Oh, it's happening.
I didn't
No, I
remember.
mean, before-
Jess listened to it today, and she was texting me. She goes, "Oh my god, I better remember." So I had to go back and listen.
Aw, JoJo's back. Well, before we pause, though, what were we talking about?
Oh, costumes.
Okay.
So, yes, welcome back. We are refilled, emptied the bladders. Dogs have kind of got their play on. Anyway, so yeah, as we were trying to figure out what we were talking about, because memories are only good for so long. Costumes, and I
You're talking
mean,
about being a brick shit house.
yeah, I was a brick shit house. I was a radio. I was a car, and then there was I mean, I think at one point I was Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin from
Wait.
Calvin and Hobbes.
Okay, I was gonna say, were you both? How'd that work?
Yeah, right. That would have been awesome.
That was the half makeup.
Yeah, the two
But
face.
that was probably one of the last times that I got to wear a costume, which was probably I think in my freshman year was the
Oh,
last
you went
time.
late.
Did
Did you go trick or treating that year?
Yes, I did. And I'll never forget it because I was with my high school crush at that time. And
Which car did you drive her around in?
she
go
drove me
trick-or-treating?
around in her Pontiac 6000.
It must have been love.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought it was. I mean, it was high school, you know.
Sure.
But and
Well, not really,
JoJo's
'cause
playing
I'm
with
a
the
loser,
camera,
so.
so if you're watching Tam and JoJo, there you go. But I bleached my hair. I had a perfectly striped shirt, and I carried around a stuffed tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was Calvin from Calvin and the Hobbes, and that was the last time I had dressed up for Halloween or truly like put 100% into Halloween until I got my face paint job at Universal, which was 2002. So this was 94 through
But
2002. I
To
didn't
get the
really,
face
like-
paint job, did you have to have a basic talent already, or did you learn as you went?
Both. So yeah, I did have to have the ability to paint some swirlies and show that I could do some work with a brush. I passed that brush test really, really well.
Do you have to actually do a face during the interview? One of
Not
the
during the
interviewers?
interview. So what they did do is they had papers of like marks and swirls and lines and designs and stuff like that, and they had you take a brush and do what you could do right next to it and get as close as you could. And I pretty much had aced that. I wouldn't say it was perfect because that was the first time I had picked up a brush in years, but I still had my artistic drawing hand. I was still pretty steady. So I passed that enough to the point where they're like, okay, good, you're hired, but we're not going to put you out in the parks just yet. There's a week-long training, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
And what they would do for 3 hours a day for a week, we painted on mannequins.
Okay.
And we learned to
It's like
do...
hairdressers.
Do
Yeah.
you do specific characters, or do you do
Yes.
anything anyone asks for?
Once you got to that point, being out at the parks and working, yeah, you could do pretty much anything. So part of it was that first week we learned the basics of their basic faces, the cat face,
Uh-huh.
the dog face, an angel. Like they had specific faces that they put on their boards. So if you go to Universal, Disney, SeaWorld, any of those parks in Orlando, the company I worked for had a contract with all of them. So most of our faces, we had a base bit where no matter what park you got put in, you had to be able to paint these faces.
But could I go to Universal and say, "Give me a Mickey Mouse," or would you have to say that's
You could.
copyrighted?
No,
Sorry.
I mean, technically you could.
Could okay.
That artist may look at you a little weird, but
You
they'll
know where you are,
they-
right?
if you're a paying
All
customer,
artists look at me weird.
yeah, either way, if you're a paying customer, they're gonna. But I did notice, jumping ahead, that they did send a lot of the girls who were really good at the swirlies and the colors and kind of that kind of stuff. They sent them to SeaWorld, Animal Kingdom, some of the Disney stuff, and the 5 males that were in this company, all of us were at Universal and Islands of Adventure.
Why is that?
The creepy faces.
Yes. And they picked 3 of us to do the prosthetics for Halloween Horror Nights.
Ooh, did you get to do that?
Yes,
You
I
said
was one of
us.
them.
Okay.
Yes. And that was one of the highlights. Like, you guys give me shit, and we talked about my strip club career. But as fun as that was, doing prosthetics for Halloween Horror Nights, and I didn't get to do it for as long or even a part of it, but my buddy did the prosthetics for Twisted Sister, Dee Snyder,
The band.
the band. So
What was the state of Twisted Sister in? What'd you say? 2002 was this?
they were doing a show at the Hard Rock. So
okay. So they were still
the
around.
day before Halloween, they came into our park. So my buddy Mick and I were the two dudes that were working at Monsters Cafe.
I know a weird amount of mix. Just saying.
That's true. Now that I think about it.
There was a time in my life where I knew 4 Martins, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Whoa, that's a different kind of name.
I've never met
I
a
don't
single Martin.
think
Now I
it's
know
the
4
first
of them.
At Frolic.
Yeah. Wow. Martin, I think
Martin, I
takes
don't know any
the
Martins.
cake there.
I don't know any Martins now, but at one point it's like, "Here's 4 Martins for you. Deal with that." Like, what?
Damn. So yeah, it was a normal day, and part of our like morning routine or shift routine, you couldn't be on shift until you had your face painted. We had to basically sell our art. We had there was a plaque in front of our kiosk was in front of Monsters Cafe.
I think the cast of Wizard of Oz died from wearing lead-based paint all day long.
This is water based.
There are also some metallics that are toxic, I think.
Probably, especially if it's got some glitter in it. But a lot
Medieval
of our-
royalty would drink
yeah.
gold and die that
Like
way.
Tin Man probably died.
Tin Man was fucked up.
our faces were mostly they were clearly universal themes. So we had a lot of Spider-Man, we had a Hulk face. I had created the Doctor Strange face before Doctor Strange became a big thing. That's the one I typically like to paint because it's pretty much just a regular face, but you can add a little mustache and a snarl. Anyway, Dee Schneider came up and he had his 2 daughters with us, or with him. And we got to paint the girls. And as we were doing it, he's talking to us. And I didn't recognize him at first.
You didn't even know you were talking to Dee Snider?
No, I didn't
He
because
is so
I was
ugly?
looking at his. Well, I was.
He
He's
is.
distinctly ugly.
makeup
He's
without and
oh,
without
he's
makeup.
hideous.
I was.
He was
painting
hideous
his-
as a young man.
I was painting
That's how
a
cute.
spider girl face on his daughter, so I really wasn't quite looking at him, probably as much as I should have. I was also 23 or 24 at the time too, so.
What was
I
he
was all
wearing?
over the
What,
place.
what did he look like?
Jeans and a black t-shirt.
Because out of context, I
t-shirt.
can
white
see.
t-shirt.
But he had the long black hair, right?
Blonde hair.
Blonde at that time. Okay,
Yes.
because I know him mostly. The blonde was a wig, right?
Was
From
it?
I don't think so, man.
Really?
It looked really freaking real
because
to me.
he made the movie Strangeland and he had black hair. And I thought that was natural, but if you look back at the old videos of Twisted Sister, he was
He's always
that blonde.
Blonde,
looked,
yeah.
But I didn't see
but
that.
it looks like a wig in the videos.
No, it's for real. I mean, he had it back in a ponytail,
Okay.
and I halfway through it, I'm kind of like, I know this guy from somewhere, but it wasn't until after he left, the guy I was painting faces with, Mick, he was like, "Dude, do you know who that was?" And I'm like, "I do, but I don't. You know, like I can't. I don't know." And he goes, "Dude, that was fucking Dee Schneider." And I'm like, "Dee Schneider?" He's like, "Twisted Sister, motherfucker." Oh shit, that's who it was. Well, by the time we had finished this conversation and realized who he was, he came back and asked, "Do you
Did you
guys
touch
do
my daughters?
Well, they're little, and I do have pictures of the one that I painted.
You photographing my
But-
daughters?
He let us. But he goes, "Do you guys do prosthetics?" And I was really still kind of new to the prosthetic game, but the guy I was working with, he did it good. And he's like,
it
"Well,
well. Go ahead.
yeah, did it well, whatever." He's like,
But he did it
and,
good.
and so Mick was like, "Yeah, I do."
That's the Florida twang.
I do
we was in Florida
we
at
did
the
it
time.
good.
we did good.
You know, something like,
we
yeah,
did good,
I
boss.
That's done good.
mentioned doing
New
it for-
prosthetics, boss. New prosthetics, John.
As soon as we mentioned that we both were doing the prosthetics for Halloween Horror Nights, he asked if we were available to do the band's prosthetics the night before their show, which was the next night. I had to work Halloween Horror Nights at the same time that Dee Schneider wanted to get the stuff done. Mick didn't. So Mick got to start it. I came in at the end, and by the time I came in at the end, I was just doing some small adhesive stuff to kind of finish it
But
off.
what kind of prosthetics did they require?
Not much. It was mostly kind of so there were
They're big
wigs
shoulder.
involved.
There were shoulder
Yes.
pads. There
yeah,
were.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I just
So
picture a lot of eye.
yeah, there was a
makeup.
lot of eye makeup.
Almost
and,
drag queen
and
like.
They
yes.
did the rosy red cheeks. They looked really tarted
Yeah,
up.
yeah. And
But
there was-
prosthetic
two
wise,
guys
I
had
can't
wigs.
imagine.
Two guys did have wigs, so I do remember, and I don't know the guy's name because it wasn't D, but I do remember
Yeah,
kind of
he's
doing
the
the
only
touch
name
up
anyone
around.
knows from Twisted Sister.
the hairline and stuff, and that was that and smoking some joints. But that was really about all I
you.
remember. But it was.
Oh, by the way,
it was
I got
pretty
high
cool.
with D. Snyder.
That's really kind of where I was
Did
getting
you?
at. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I smoked weed with Doug Benson.
No,
Really?
you win.
Really?
I
Yeah.
thought
Oh,
Doug
absolutely.
Oh, I think D.
dude.
Snyder is way cooler.
No, man. I don't
I
know.
don't know. Doug is. More people probably know.
I think
guess-
more people know D. Snyder than Doug
Maybe.
Benson.
Oh,
But I
that's
did,
a new poll we'll have to put
I
on Facebook.
did get Doug with
Who
high.
knows who?
Yes, I did get Doug with high in Vegas. That was pretty cool.
He's so funny.
He is.
Was he doing
yes.
Doug Loves Movies or something?
Yes, I went to a Doug Loves Movies,
Oh.
and he invited me and my friend up to smoke weed with some people, and we
that's so
went.
awesome.
And yeah,
Because
got-
I
when
wanna
you're
smoke
asked to
with someone
smoke weed
famous.
with a celebrity, even
And-
if it's a B-level comedian or
man.
A-level, it doesn't matter.
I think he was A-level at the time because
Yeah.
Doug Love Movies was huge. He was pretty huge. He's not so much anymore. I don't even listen to him anymore. But at the time, and I hate weed, but yeah, I'm going to smoke if Doug Benson
That's
invites me up to
funny.
smoke.
Right.
So yeah, him and an MMA fighter whose name I don't know, and
Probably
a
Brandon.
couple of
Brendan or
lesser
whatever.
comedians and some groupies. And yeah, it was fun. Oh man, I had fun hanging out with Doug Benson, smoking weed.
That's awesome.
He did that court thing.
What? Oh, yeah.
He was
The
the
Benson
judge.
Court or whatever it was.
There's not many people on earth I will smoke weed with. Doug Benson, he's one of them.
Yeah. How can
I
you
just
not?
don't like it. It makes me sick.
I
But
haven't smoked weed with anybody famous.
fuck you.
Want to smoke weed with me?
You
That's
got
as
3
famous as
people
you're
on a
gonna get.
podcast that no one
that's
listens
one
to.
of my,
Right, right.
That's one of my bucket lists is when Dave Chappelle has the secret
Oh,
shows in
fuck
Denver.
yes. I will
He
smoke weed with Dave
always
I
Chappelle.
would
picks
too.
people to smoke weed with, and it's such like a cult status that it's become part of his sets now. He's like, "You're gonna say you smoke weed with Dave Chappelle, but nobody's gonna fucking believe you."
That's true. I mean, I almost didn't. I thought he was joking at first, but then I'm like, wait a minute. Doug Benson would do that.
Yes,
So,
Totally.
Doug Benson is a
yes.
very generous and giving man.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes, he was awesome. I loved hanging out with Doug Benson.
The closest we ever
Comedians are my
really
favorite.
got to a comedian was Jim Brewer. Took our cell
But
phone
he
and
doesn't
was
smoke. He
doing
just looks stoned.
selfies with us, and it wasn't like, let's take. No, he took our cell phone and was like, that works. Nope, that doesn't work. Let's do it again. Yeah, I mean, we had a few, and then he was like, all right, send it to me.
Yeah, really.
What? Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my
He'll put it-
Facebook.
if
Nice.
you've been there more than
Like,
once
what the
with him.
fuck? All right. So yeah, that was probably as close as we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Titus was another one where we've had a few conversations with him too. But
I've also got a picture of me and Doug Benson from that night, but I was fat and don't show it to anybody.
was it the candy? I'm trying to just get us back
I was
around.
greasy with
It was everything. Probably the ice cream
Yeah, the ice cream. Well, when you're in Vegas,
and the
you need
sedentary
something-
lifestyle.
Yeah, Vegas will do that for you. Costumes. Best costume you ever dressed up in? Wanted to dress up?
God.
Something.
Well, let's see. When I was a kid, I was 3 years in a row. I was Dracula. I was obsessed with Dracula. But the best costume I probably did was because I made most of it myself. Freddy Krueger.
yeah.
Because I didn't have money for the glove. I didn't even ask my parents. I just got a golf club and I cut off the fingers. Then I got sticks and I painted them silver and I shoved them in the glove. And I made my own Freddy Krueger glove.
That's nice.
And I was
That's
pretty
old school.
It looks
Yeah.
shitty, I'm sure, but I'm really proud of it. No photos exist, by the way.
Marshmallows after was still.
But I was really proud of that. That was probably about 4th grade, 5th grade.
Oh, that's even
cute.
better. Like that's some good junior or
Yeah.
elementary school engineering right there,
Yeah,
man.
that was like, I want to do this and I'm going to make it happen. That wasn't even asking permission because my mom probably would have bought me the glove. But I was like, I'm going to do it myself. So I don't remember. She probably bought me the sweater. I don't think I even had the hat. And I think as
Oh,
far
you could
as
have gone
the,
to ARC for that, probably.
I'm pretty yeah,
I think
pretty sure I
homemade
made.
or gifts. Homemade costumes look better than the plastic ones you buy anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
they definitely got that creative.
They
kinda,
do.
yeah.
Either that or you're just, oh, he's a special boy. Let's give him an extra
He made
Snickers.
his own.
That's
But
all
I
right.
did my own face makeup and everything.
Nice. Kate is sounding like a monster in
I
this
know, you're gonna
cast.
hear.
But going back to kind of your
Benching
last trick or treating being weirdly 9th grade,
Mm-hmm.
mine was 7th grade, and my friends and I were gonna not do it. We were gonna say 6th grade was great, but 7th grade we thought we were too old, so In 7th grade, for school, I wore a fat lady costume.
Lunch
It's
lady.
funny because
Sloppy Joe.
it was actually my brother's old mask that I just picked up out of the basement, which was a fat lady mask, and then I put on a robe with some pillows underneath. And I was just a fat lady at school, and I got nominated but didn't win for best costume.
Wow.
And then my friends and I decided, you know what, let's just go trick-or-treating one last time, knowing it's the last time. So we did, but several times we got told we were too old to be doing this. So to be in 9th grade blows my mind, because
So-
how did you get anything at all?
Well, we went to the ranch, and I think none of us were really planning on it, or at least it didn't seem like. I mean, we didn't talk about it at school or anything. It was kind of one of those things where the girl I was dating called and said a couple of her friends, one of them lived in the ranch, said that they knew of some houses that are giving away some good stuff. All we need to do is kind of just put on some decent costumes. And I already had my hair bleached. I had everything. That's why I became Calvin and Hobbes. And I even took my skateboarding. So I'm like, yeah, I'm the skater, Calvin and Hobbes.
Because he wasn't known for that. He had a sled or a wagon.
Wagon.
Yes.
Yes. We didn't have any wagons, so it was it was a
That's actually a good
skateboard,
idea.
and so we did, and we ended up. I remember most of the night pretty well, because this was before alcohol and drugs, and we.
Not much before, but 9th
No,
grade.
Oh, yeah,
Before we were all
it wasn't
I-
much.
I like
It was a
that you-
few months before.
I appreciate
alcohol
that
and
you-
drugs.
I appreciate that you waited until you were 14 to experiment with alcohol and drugs.
Yes, exactly. There was one house that gave away king size Snickers.
You always knew the good houses.
Another one gave away 6 packs of Dr. Pepper.
What? A
Yes,
6-pack?
a 6-pack.
Where is the ranch exactly for those out of town?
So
That's a nice place,
It
is
was
it?
definitely the Ritchie neighborhood when we were growing up. It's kind of like what Legacy Ridge is now, but the ranch is on the opposite side of. So, you kind of know Westminster,
Yes, I live in
All right.
Westminster.
yeah? North Westminster, where I grew up, by Front Range.
Yes.
So it was my subdivision was Cotton Creek. We were kind of like the definite middle class. Then you cross over Federal, and just on the other side of Federal.
I live on Federal.
And 112th ish was the upper class, which was the ranch. They
Yes. Okay. Near the mushroom
had
tower.
yes, exactly on
Yes.
the other side. So on the north
Okay.
side of the mushroom farm, because
Okay.
at that time it was still the mushroom farm. The
Right.
Bouchers hadn't sold
Savory,
that.
savory mushrooms.
Yes.
Got it.
So we knew that, like, yeah, we're gonna go to the big mansions, and we did. And I think there was a few houses that turned us away. So at one point, it turned into like,
So they told you were too old
Yeah.
for this and get out of my
and
property.
at one point, the 6 or 8 of us decided that we were just gonna
See, I'm too afraid
partake in our
That's
candies and
Debbie
sodas
Downer,
and
though, 'cause
walk
when I
across.
hand out Halloween candy, if they're clearly too old, I'm just like, come on, bro. But I
Hey.
still give them candy.
I don't say anything.
I would
I'm just
too.
like,
I don't remember
like,
if
you
we
know what?
actually still got stuff. I just remember them giving us shit to the point where we're like, fine, we're just gonna go eat our candy and drink our sodas on like one of the greens of the golf course.
It's more fun for me if I give them shit, though. It's like, how old are you? Aren't you
right,
about
right?
to be in college next year?
Yeah.
I'm 12.
Cade wants to be a part of the podcast. Cade, what costume are you going to be? Is he going to be? We talked about
never-
putting him
I
in a
wanted to make him
Scooby-Doo
Scooby Doo
collar
Oh,
or
yeah.
a lion.
Yeah.
or a lion, because he does kind of have that color. But I don't know if he would actually wear that main mask.
Oh, he would wear it.
But you got dogs, and you put jerseys
Yeah,
and shit.
I
on.
God.
rarely dress up for Halloween, but I always dress the dogs up for Halloween.
Oh,
They
my
have
Because
dog
they're
their
hates
hair.
that.
always coming to the door and yapping at people.
My
All
dog
right,
hates
so-
to be dressed up, and she hates kids coming to the door.
But he has the cutest dogs.
That's because they're chopped.
You say my dog's ugly? My dog ain't ugly.
Actually, I
She's
like
just-
your dog, too.
She's just crazy as fuck.
Best dog costume then?
Best dog costume, well, they're corgis, so the hot dog costume.
How many?
Is up there, 2 of them.
Okay, that's a normal amount.
They have the hot dog costume, and that's like perfect for corgis.
Not the wiener
What's
dogs.
another one? I got like
I like those dog costumes where it looks like they're holding something. Like it's a human like legs,
yeah, like
and
the
they're like holding
UPS
something. Yes, yeah,
costume
like that. That's
and
funny.
the mailman costume.
Those are good stuff.
I haven't gotten one of those for them yet, but I've been thinking about it. Hot dog costume is up there.
You haven't dressed them as Man or Arsenal fans or anything.
I've seen some
I have
Bronco
an
jerseys.
Arsenal jersey for one of them.
Yeah, the SPCA called about that.
They don't make a specific dog costume, so I had to
Well,
get
they
like
just don't love their
I had
fans.
to get like
then.
a toddler size jersey for my dog.
That's fucking great.
What's another one? One year we did Jurassic Park.
Like little velociraptors or
yeah.
something? No way.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be.
Another year I did Pokemon.
I could see that.
I don't know much about Pokemon. Which were
I could just see the
specific
tail
characters?
being the little lightning
It's
bolt.
Pikachu. It's the
Yeah.
one that everyone knows.
the yellow one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I can see that. So, aside from the dogs, what
When,
would be
when
the
was
one...
when was the last year you went trick or treating?
Okay,
The
yeah,
last
yeah,
year
yeah.
I went
That's a good
trick or treating
question.
probably 6th grade.
6th grade. See, that was
That
that's
was
that's
So I
normal.
overextended the mandate.
You way overextended the mandate. We
I don't
were
know- I don't know
uncomfortable
if
in
you-
7th grade.
If you
We
cut
knew
that
we
out
were too old for this.
from the last podcast, where I mentioned like we ran into our salty 4th grade teacher, and it turned out he had the best candy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We always targeted the best houses.
What?
And everyone was freaking out. They're like, that's his house. He's giving out Starburst. So we're all like telling each other, and we're like rating his house for candy.
Do you know what would be funny? If there was an app to rate the
Where
houses
the best candy is?
for the
There
best
probably
candy.
is.
It's called Next Door and fuck Next Door.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids aren't on next door though.
Yeah, it's mostly boomers
No, but-
on next door
Yeah.
complaining about their neighbors.
It's anyone who can afford a house is on Next Door, but they're also complaining about their
this
neighbors.
people that want to be in an HOA, but you're like, this is a neighborhood.
So-
We all own our houses.
What
This
bothered
is not an HOA.
talking about like distributing candy and stuff like that. So what bothered me was my parents were anti-candy, as we talked about in the beginning about having the candy day. Like they wouldn't even fucking buy candy for Halloween. So what they gave out at Halloween was peanuts, and sometimes little small mini boxes of the Sun-made raisins.
Oh no, they were the raisin
They,
family.
and I would catch
That's how
shit
you get your
at
house
school.
egged.
I got
I-
TP'd. I'm pretty sure it was because we got TP'd because of it.
Yeah, the
Can I
raisin.
just ask-
The raisin house always gets TP'd or egged.
And,
Yeah.
and at one point, and this was probably right about the 9th grade time, where I told my parents, I'm like, look, you got to stop with the peanuts and the raisins because I'm catching too much shit at school. Like, whether it's
Oh, yeah.
trickled down to my brothers or not, I don't know, but
Raisins were the worst.
that's just it. You can't give this shit away and say, which would you like, a handful of peanuts or a box of raisins? Fuck you. I'll go to your next door neighbor.
I pick out raisins out of cookies.
You do. And
I hate raisins.
it was,
They're sad grapes.
hate
I'm
raisins,
pretty
too.
sure my parents now give away candy.
And these days,
Right.
there's no excuse because there's craisins, which are way better than raisins.
Raisins are.
Yeah, they didn't.
I'm not
make
made
that
of
shit
money
around.
over
That
here.
was not around when
My
yeah.
parents.
So if you're gonna be the raisin family,
I don't
fuck
think
off.
anything's gonna
Be the
change.
crazy
It-
family.
it had to
Anything
be
homemade
like,
we had to throw away.
I think
so
it had
we
to
got
be-
popcorn balls, anything that was homemade.
I didn't even like popcorn
We
balls,
had
and
to
now I
throw
got to
out.
take
there
out
was
your trash.
always
Eat
one
it.
place that gave the popcorn ball
Oh,
too.
We always did too.
Don't make me take your trash out for you. That's like the asshole handing out flyers for shit I don't
Or
care
a
about.
you'd
full of
almost want
candy,
a razor
like-
blade to be in the popcorn ball because you're like, at least I can use the razor blade.
Our
The rest
dentist-
of this, I can't do
Something
anything.
interesting will come from this endeavor.
So we had a small town, so we didn't have a whole lot of dentists. But the one that was probably a
Oh,
wealthy guy,
you
he'd
would
hand
think
out
she'd be
toothbrushes, and I was like,
Why do
although, like,
dentists hate job security? What the
That's
hell?
what I
Right?
was like, you give the
That's
shit
a myth.
Like, you give the Swedish
Perpetuated
fish
by
the
those
shit that
Willy
stays in your
Wonka
teeth, like
movies.
that sugar shit.
Willy Wonka's dentist was rolling in it. I'll tell you.
was his dentist, remember? Oh, that was Charles.
Although I would prefer a toothbrush over a popcorn ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I can use a toothbrush. Popcorn balls are just nasty.
Toothpaste tastes better than a popcorn ball.
Ooh, the cinnamon type?
Like,
Yes.
Ooh, mint.
Stick to
I just need to add
raisins.
some chocolate to
Maybe
this,
not.
and I'll be good.
But the thing about peanuts and raisins is you can throw them back at the house and they won't do much damage. So if you give someone toothpaste, get that off of your window when you write to see you,
You
next
suck.
Tuesday. Tammy, when was your last time trick-or-treating? Or you lived in the
Like I
country. Did you get to
We did
trick-or-treat?
Well, my parents had to drive us
What is
into
country
town.
Halloween?
They probably went
We
to
didn't
like
get
some
trick-or-treaters,
4-H
so
trick
we
or
had to
treat.
drive.
I was thinking, was it the church? Was it all raisins? Is that what
No,
happened to
we got
you?
raisins and popcorn balls and toothbrushes. No, so I would hang out with my friends. My parents would drive me into town, drop me off, and I'd trick or treat with my friends.
How many of those friends got pregnant that night?
Only one.
Nice. Small town
There's
girls.
another
Go
Tammy,
figure.
Too. I loved it.
I am so proud of you for never getting pregnant growing up in a small town.
And I hate it. I actually don't. I like handing out candy more than I like trick or treating. I never was a person to. I don't like dressing up, but I love seeing kids. And that sounds bad. I love seeing kids dressed up.
No one ever
Oh,
thinks
Tam's
that.
gonna end up on a list.
Yeah, no one ever
It's
thinks that.
different if it's a woman,
Hey, I don't have to tell
though.
the neighbors who I am yet.
I would be proud of my son getting molested. No,
But I did hate when people. Well, actually, we never really got trick or treaters. But I don't think you. There is an age limit. What do you think the age limit would be?
well, Brendan doesn't know. We
He
cleared
was
that
like,
up.
he was like, I was in like
Ninth
in
grade,
senior, I
seventh
was-
grade, regrettably
I
or
was
reluctantly, and
trick-or-treating.
sixth grade.
I'm pretty flexible as far as me handing out candy. It's like as long as you're not 18 or right.
What do
If
you look for
If
in
you're
a
a high
high
school
If you
senior,
if you got a mustache
But
or if you
after a high
got more
school
than an
senior-
A cup, you're done.
But if it's a costume, how do you know? Does it go by height? How do you know they're
Oh, you
they're
can't
too
go by
old for
height.
this?
Look at my
you
poor
can't
daughter.
go by height.
Yeah, my son is tall,
Your daughter's not tall.
very tall.
I feel like a mustache
No,
is
but
a
we're
good
going- if they're
indicator.
tall,
What if they
you're
got a
gonna
mask on?
judge, Like a young kid.
Let's
that's
say
unfortunately
let's
tall.
say a 5'10" Darth Vader knocks on your door. What are you gonna do?
I'll give him candy.
But what are you gonna say?
I am not your father.
I'll just give him candy and,
There you go.
and send
Talk
him
shit
on
about
their
him
way.
after.
You can't tell with all this hormone-induced food that they eat
If someone
nowadays.
comes
You
to
don't
the
know.
door, because when we lived in
Plus, it's slightly
Longmont-
more acceptable if the older sibling is like the chaperone of younger siblings. Like, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
But if it's just some random 18-year-old,
I do.
you
If
know,
there's a group of teenage kids, I'll give them one piece versus little
that's
kids.
just
I'll
it.
give a
You'll know
handful.
it's a group.
Oh, yeah.
If they're teenagers, they're in a group together. There's no chaperone.
Yep.
and I will fucking tell them, you can grow a mustache and I can't. So fuck you. You're not gonna get any candy.
I'm keeping this Snickers to myself.
In fact, I'm taking some
gonna
from your
eat it
bag.
in
Open
front
it
of
up.
If
I want your
anything-
Red
yeah,
Hots.
if
I want your
anything,
Jolly
I should-
Ranchers.
you
Your
guys should be giving
Starbursts
me
are mine.
candy.
I want reparations, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Matt. Like, I'm gonna tax you right now. Give me open.
Yeah,
your
if they
bag.
can grow a better mustache, that should be the indicator. If they can grow a better mustache than you,
We didn't come around to.
you gotta
the-
tax them. You gotta tax
Well,
them.
I did make the comment. If you got a mustache or anything bigger than an A cup,
You
then
have any hair.
Wait a
Although I
minute.
can't
Right,
ask
right.
to see that.
well, I'm,
Wait a minute. Girls only, right?
right. Yes, yes.
Because a boy with bigger than an A cup is just a candy fan,
That's
and this
true.
is not a special occasion for him.
That's hilarious.
I did have an
Are you
experience
wearing a
where
bra? Sorry. Candy
yes,
for you.
it's part of the costume.
Just meet me out back.
Who's expecting you back home and when?
Right. Do you have a curfew?
Are you 18? What state am I? Is it?
I did have a great experience
Can
one
you
time.
sign this waiver?
Now, I live probably within 3 miles of the house that I grew up in. And I took my son to that neighborhood, which is better, for trick-or-treating the first year we lived in Westminster. And we went around my old neighborhood. And when we got to my old house that I grew up in, I couldn't wait to get just a peek inside, first of all. But I stood on the pathway while the kids went up and rang the doorbell. And the guy opened, and he looked all confused. And he's like, "You brought me candy? Thank you." And my first thought was, thank God a funny guy owns my house. I love that a funny guy owns my house.
That's awesome.
But I just love. I got a peek
I might have to
inside.
use that. I hope
They
we
did
get
all
some.
hardwood floors. It looks beautiful. But I just loved that a funny guy is like, oh, that's the house I grew up in, and I love that he has it. I feel at peace that he has it. So that was a great night.
Good to know.
Yes, so always trick or
I'm
treat
gonna
at your
use
old
that. If we get
childhood home.
trick-or-treaters, I'm like, oh.
Well, both my kids are way too old and I got
They're
no
in
other
college, I
reason
would
to
hope
like.
so.
Yeah, I got no other reason to go trick or treat.
Yeah,
through-
if you made your daughter go trick or treating, you'd have to buy a plane ticket
Well,
first of all.
actually, she went. She didn't go last year, did she?
What?
She might have.
There was, yeah.
She's
it
in
was it
college.
was either
Yeah.
last year or the year before, and I actually was kind of like, no,
No, I'll
you're
buy
too
you
fucking
candy.
old.
What the fuck?
And she's like, oh, but no, me and her friend Caitlin, we just want to dress up and go around and show off our costumes. It's not all about the candy.
They
And I'm
better
like,
donate that candy to some little kids they
Oh,
pass
that
on the
must be
street
nice.
then.
I don't think they had the thought to think that. But if they did, great. But I just remember being like, Sora, you're too freaking old.
You
Like,
are in college
like,
this
High school,
I
you're too
fall.
old. I'm sorry.
Well, and that I
If you're old enough to have a job, you can buy your
You're
own
too old. Yeah.
If you can
condoms,
vote,
your
Dude.
own
Yeah.
candy,
dude,
then you're
that's
too
his
old.
daughter.
shit. Don't
I'm
parallel
glad you guys
those
are
two.
separated by like a whole room.
Oh man. Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah.
no,
Well, I
high
was
school
thinking
is
of college Halloween.
high school is out of
Those were
bounds.
some of my best Halloweens.
Oh,
were
I
college
never-
Thank
Halloween.
you. Get to
And
some
that's
stories,
when I
man.
started to get into the costumes and all that.
Okay.
So freshman year.
So how'd this happen?
I was Willy Wonka, and I went full out like
Purple.
Johnny Depp Willy Wonka.
No,
Oh,
that
Charlie.
Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
you motherfucking millennials.
And I wore it the whole day, like going to class, and I stayed in character.
Purple suit and everything.
Even in class.
You mean you played Michael Jackson dressed in a
Yeah.
purple
Like
suit?
Daniel Day Lewis.
You should really stop mumbling. Really can't hear you when you mumble.
Oh my god. Gene Wilder died this year, you son of a bitch.
Oh, you
I can't
did.
pull off Gene Wilder. Willy
Nobody
Wonka.
could, man.
You can dream. Michael fucking Jackson is not the alternative
I,
to
I
Willy
wouldn't have
Wonka.
thought of him like that, but now that's the only way I'm going to see him.
Oh, that movie horrified me as
Did it
somebody who
really?
grew up loving the movie
Wasn't
Willy
it
Wonka.
Tim Burton that did that?
Yeah, it was a Tim Burton.
That would make sense.
If it's Johnny Depp, it's Tim Burton. Those two are propping each other up. They both should have been gone in 1989.
Yeah, what was the other one where they would put kids in or people in the pie and eat them? What movie was that? It was Johnny Depp and the girl would.
oh, Sweeney
Oh,
Todd?
Sweeney
Yeah.
Todd. God,
That was
I
Tim
can't
Burton,
watch
right?
any Johnny Depp movie. He just sucks.
Aw.
He does. His just, I got to assume it's his interference because I think he's executive producer of most things. But, like, he has a vision that I just fucking abhor. I hate him. I liked Edward Scissorhands, but I hate him now. I hate him for the
Funny 'cause
last
that's one I
15
haven't
years.
seen.
It's a good flick. Johnny
What
Depp,
about the Pirates? Not a big fan.
no. Not a big fan of the pirate movies. He himself, wasn't he Michael Jackson again?
No, he was. Keith
No,
Richards
he
in
was.
that
He
one.
was
Richards, that's right.
Yes.
Because Keith Richards had a
Yeah.
cameo as his
yes,
father.
he did. Yes.
Yes. I only know that because I listened to We Hate Movies, but I
Oh.
never saw all those movies. But yeah, he was Keith Richards, and then he was Michael Jackson, and now he can fucking die. No, I was never a fan. I like the movie Edward Scissorhands. That is it. Johnny
It's
Depp.
funny because I'm trying
I'm
to
trying
be
to think
like
of a really good
that's-
one too, and I
yes.
can't, which is horrible
Well,
because I don't want to say
weirdly,
you're right.
Rango was kind of good.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
the
the
lizard?
voice. He did the voice of
A lizard. Yes.
Big
so you're
deal.
Good? He's okay when he's a voice.
Big deal.
But there was something else, but I obviously can't seem to. I mean,
Yeah, Fear and Loathing in Las
Oh,
Vegas.
there we go.
Fuck you, because I'm actually a
You-
real Hunter Thompson fan, and that motherfucker pretends to be a Hunter S. Thompson fan with a bunch of money and says, I get to play him in every movie, and I'm going to fuck up everything he's ever written, and fuck Johnny Depp, because he is a fake fucking Hunter S. Thompson fan. He
Tell me what you really think.
fucking, he
Didn't
destroyed.
hang out with Hunter and like,
Fuck.
learn from him.
Yeah,
and,
he learned
like-
how to fucking hate Hunter S. Thompson. No.
know
Actual
who I
Hunter S.
love,
Thompson
though?
fans would not
He's in that
stand
movie, Benicio del Toro.
Eh,
I love him.
eh.
No,
He's a big nothing.
You know who
burger
I
to me.
like that was also in that movie? Christina Ricci.
Oh yeah, you do like her, Wednesday Adams.
Yeah. I was getting back to the Halloween bit.
I only know her as
Ah.
Wednesday Adams.
And Casper. Because I think that was probably the first
I think I was
time
too
that-
old for Casper when that came out.
That was probably what hit me was Casper. Because
What was she,
we big-
17 in that?
no. She was younger than that.
16? Okay.
Maybe 14.
I was giving
15.
you a chance
I don't
to
know.
not be on that list, but
Damn it, I'm on that list.
you and Tammy now officially on that list.
Don't
No
come to this house
trick-or-treaters
for
coming.
Halloween.
Yeah,
One
stay ahead
of
of Thornton.
the questions that I did want to ask before I forget, and we ran out of time or whatever, or drink too much, but we briefly touched on some of our favorite candies. But what none of us have mentioned were the fruity ones, like the Skittles. You did say Starburst.
Starburst. That's my
Yeah,
jam.
that was good.
Laffy Taffy.
Mambas are
Nerds.
like the rare.
Oh, I don't like
ones.
nerds so much.
Yeah, I don't
So,
either.
well,
I'm not a
Starburst-
fruity. Favorite.
I'll still eat the fuck out of some Starbursts.
Yeah, I like Starburst.
I think
Not
that
all
I'll
of
eat them
them.
if it's the only thing here, but I'm more chocolate.
I'll eat the reds and the pinks, but the yellows, not so much.
That's why they made Starburst all reds.
right, exactly. That's a great pack.
That
Or
is the
the
best out.
berry pack.
Neapolitan
so
ice cream could take a lesson from that.
as far as the
Chocolate,
fruity,
vanilla, chocolate. That's the magic formula.
right?
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at, as far as the fruity stuff goes, what would be your fruity candy choice? Because
As a kid, it was Jolly Ranchers, but now I don't have the patience for that.
See,
They do
that's a
have the
dentist
gummies.
dream
I
there.
will bite them and I will hurt my teeth and I will be mad at Jolly Ranchers for leaving Colorado in general. They used to be made here
oh really?
in Arvada
They used to be mom
that's
and
right.
pop,
It was
and
right
then they were
across.
bought by Mars.
and moved to Texas, I
Yeah.
hear. Yeah, so no. I liked them as a kid. Now I can't suck on a candy for 25 minutes. I bite it, it hurts my teeth, and I hate it. And I just
your teeth
yeah.
get stuck. And you're
Yes,
Like,
they stick together.
yeah.
It was charming as a child, not so much as an adult. My teeth have to last me the rest of my life.
Yeah. See, I didn't really think about that at
Jolly
times.
Rancher, and that's what I mean. Those are dentist dreams to me, like those kind of candies.
Yeah.
that
Corn
stick
nuts.
right in
They'll
there.
just
I
grab
broke
the
two
fillings.
teeth
Only
on corn
chocolate
nuts.
ones that are dentist dream are like Heath Bar and
I
Butterfinger.
love a Heath
I'm
bar.
not
Me
saying
too,
they're not
man.
yummy
Nothing like
because
some
I'll eat
good
'em,
English
but
toffee,
They
like,
stick in your
oh.
teeth too, like that candy, that like caramel, whatever.
I will
Oh,
only.
Caramellos.
Oh, yes, I remember Caramello.
That sounds
Better
like
than a Rolo.
No,
what's-
Really?
no, the ratio's all off. Too much caramel in
Okay,
a Caramello.
I can get you there, but I still
I can
think
get you there.
you're
Really?
right.
Because I'm getting close.
I'll get you there.
These 4 beers have got me so.
Oh, you guys talking about Rolos and Caramellos. Might as well talk about Raisinets.
Ew.
Ooh.
I like
Wolf-
goobers. I'm a.
Wolf in sheep's clothing over
What
here.
else will
that
you?
where it
What else
came
will
from?
you suck, Tammy? This is
I was
just
just
change
gonna
gears.
say.
I suck those and spit
Was
the
that
raisins.
practice?
I am a Goobers over Raisinets fan, but Goobers are just chocolate covered peanuts, and they're
I thought
fantastic.
Swedish Fish are probably the only.
No,
No.
you're wrong.
Those
Stop
are
talking
the,
now because you're
those
wrong.
are the worst gummy.
No, you're wrong.
Those are the Raisinets of gummies.
First of
Swedish
all,
Fish.
Red
They're
Hots.
like Red Hots.
Red Hots.
Mike and
Are
Ike's.
probably my only.
Mike and Ike's. Those are the fruity flavored ones.
Yeah, those are gross.
Which are the black licorice
those
ones?
are gross
Ooh,
too.
fuck.
Anything black
Um,
licorice is gross.
Tamale. Oh, good and plenty.
Good and plenty. Nasty.
Nope. Can't
No,
touch that shit.
no good and plenties. That's like
That's
I associate.
Crazies. I'll give you 5 good and plenties for 1 Snickers.
For some reason, I associate good and plenties with the Brunswick bowling alley because I think
Speaking of
I think that
awful,
when I was in a bowling league, I think that no matter what buttons you pushed on the vending machine,
That's
good
what
and
you were
plenty
gonna
fucking
get?
fell out, and just nasty shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I do like. What did you say? The hot ones.
hot tamales.
Red Hots,
like that.
Red Hots, and what are the cinnamon ones?
Yep.
The little ones, the,
the hot
discs.
tamales. Were those the cinnamon
No.
ones?
Oh yeah, hot tamales are the gel ones.
Yeah,
Red
yeah,
Hots
but
are
the
like
cinnamon,
little
the Red
dots.
Hots
Red
are the
Hots are
dots.
the
I would
ones
do
that
those.
like you
I
would
like
see around
'em
Christmas
both,
time all over the place.
But I only have cinnamon Red Hots at Halloween, just like I only have Butterfinger at Halloween. I will
had a
not go out of
Butterfinger
my
last
way
night.
for a Butterfinger, but I do enjoy them once in a while. Same as Baby Ruth.
Ooh, Baby Ruth are good.
100% of my Baby Ruth consumption is from my son's Halloween bag.
Halloween sized Butterfinger, I think, is the right size for Butterfinger.
No more,
too.
no
yeah,
That's
because
one
that's
last night.
that's a lot.
Because if you
Anything
get the
more
actual
than-
candy bar, it's too much.
Yeah.
Halfway through, you're wishing you
You're
had a
like,
Twix.
I get that, but Chris at Frolic gave us.
Oh
one
yeah, that's right.
I
He did
ate it
throw one
'cause
at
I
us. But
drunken one and
Um,
sweet.
Baby
the
Ruth's
only thing I had.
paydays, like the
Oh,
nut
I love
bar.
payday. I
paydays
could have
are-
a king size payday.
Payday.
Oh,
100 grand?
absolutely.
Anything with nuts.
I could have 100 grand
Yep,
king size.
I like those too.
The Nutrageous, that's
Yes.
phenomenal. What is the pretzel one? Take 5. Oh
I
my
haven't
god!
seen one of those.
Reese's
in
makes a
forever.
Reese's Take 5. It has a
Yeah.
pretzel and it's so good.
So,
try that.
when
But
we-
if you buy the big one, it's only 2 little pieces of Take 5, and it's not worth $1.89.
when we order a pallet of grain from the brewery supply store, they will send in.
Oh, is that
on-
how we got the candy?
No, not that one.
Oh.
What they do is they'll give us a nut roll.
If you're about to say you
Oh.
make a payday beer, I'm all in.
I would do it.
I'm in.
I got to figure out how.
I will bankroll that motherfucker right,
Brendan
now.
is trying to figure out ways to put his nuts in your beer.
Well, my glass is
if
nice
I
and
had
warm
my own
now.
brewery, that would be perfect.
Cold makes them shy.
Here's my
Speaking
beer
of
nuts.
awful licorice flavored candies,
I hate licorice.
the girl I took to prom, her favorite candy was Necco wafers.
I hope she's died
What
in
the
a...
fuck is that?
And that was the first.
No, wait,
sign.
wait. What
that
is
was
that?
The first,
No, it's a little tiny
it's
disc
like
of
a
chalk.
tablet.
It's a chalky
medicine
like
disc.
the
tablet.
sweet tarts or
Yeah.
the whatever.
But it's
Grandma.
licorice
Not a sweet
flavored.
tart. It has no flavor whatsoever. It's just a bit of chalk that
They're
you
be-
put in your
They're
mouth.
like a sweet tart, but bigger and thinner with no sweet.
It's like an antacid, but
it's-
you don't get the
it's
pleasure of
licorice
having an
flavored.
antacid.
Ugh.
It
Yeah.
tastes like Good and Plenty.
They come in
But
like
it's-
wax paper, and you're like,
Oh.
what the hell?
Yes,
is
wax
this?
paper.
You know what comes in
Yes.
wax paper
Out
that's
of-
good?
Out of
Tootsie Roll.
all
Taffy.
the out
Oh,
of
taffy.
all the candy
Saltwater
that
taffy.
exists,
Yes.
how do you
Taffy
pick
fan
that?
Love salt, but it's
But
not so
saltwater
good for me.
taffy is not a Halloween thing. I never get those
No,
then.
it's not.
That is a vacation thing.
It is an Estes
And so are
Park
nut
thing.
rolls. Too.
That's
Yes.
because saltwater taffy is fresh for about 24 hours.
Really? What
I say
happens? What
nut
happens
rolls?
when it's
Then it
not
starts to
fresh?
get
It's
hard.
just a hard.
Yeah,
I
rock
have
of-
never ever experienced a saltwater taffy living more than 24 hours.
Not me either, because I'll typically eat it. that
Absolutely.
fast. Yeah.
Which
If
I
I-
didn't know Colorado, because Estes Park has a taffy
We've got a
place.
couple taffy places
Right.
that
Yes.
are really
But
good.
in my memory as a kid, we would go to Florida every year or Myrtle Beach, and we would always get nut rolls and saltwater.
Is a nut roll a payday?
Kind
Nut
of.
roll's kind of
More
like a
of a
payday, but
homemade
it's got
one.
like
It's
It's
just,
just
it's hard to
homemade.
explain
caramel
what that.
and
It's,
that-
right.
it's the
that-
same thing with the nougat and the
There's
nuts.
something in the
So
middle I
it's the same
can't quite
thing.
explain.
It's like a
It's
nougat.
white jizz
Ew.
That's Cinnabon. It's got the Cinnabon jizz.
wrapped in nuts.
So a nutty Cinnabon. I'm all in.
One of
All in.
what was the first piece of candy, or not first piece of candy, but like when you open out your bag, what's the one thing that you were always like, fuck this, I'm trading it out? Because, I mean, we either had siblings or friends where we could trade out pieces
would-
of candy. Because
well-
for me, it was the Smarties.
I love Smarties. I'll take that trade any day.
I would get rid of the Smarties.
For me, and I said last week, bit of honey, but no one would ever take
I
that
actually
deal.
like bit of honey.
Sugar Daddy as well.
Okay. I would have.
Any
Yeah.
suckers, anything that was
Suckers
candy
are
to
not
me, I
great.
would
Tootsie Rolls. I
totally
like me some Tootsie Rolls.
I'm not a big hard candy
Or not
fan.
Tootsie
That's
Roll,
same
but
with
the
me. Nerds.
A blow pop? A Tootsie Pop?
Tootsie
Yep.
Pop.
How
The
many
different than the
licks?
blow pop.
I'll
'cause-
take a Tootsie Pop, not a blow pop.
Exactly, those
because
are too sweet. And
that's
the-
just
and the
garbage
You
gum.
just eat the shit.
It's
you
garbage
can't
gum.
even chew
Well,
it.
it's good.
It doesn't
I
even
was
have
the
flavor.
opposite.
Seconds.
So I would have traded the Tootsie Pop for the Blow Pop because I preferred the Blow Pop.
Ooh, he
Ooh.
likes the blow. Pop.
Well, I'll take all y'all Smarties right now.
Charms.
Grind them in a pestle and line them up. I'll snort them.
I would also trade
I
away.
love some
Think of that.
Smarties.
Yeah, I
Oh,
would also trade away the Tootsie Rolls, the chocolate ones.
Tootsie
Because
See,
I
that's
like
the
I like
great
the
thing.
fruity
I like
ones,
them.
the fruity Tootsie Rolls.
I do
Kinda
too.
like your
I like-
beers.
Yeah, yeah.
I like all the Tootsie Rolls. I will.
Jojo.
I have a standing agreement with my son. My payment is all the Tootsie Rolls because he doesn't care. Half the Smarties
What does
because
he
he
care
does
about?
like those.
What's his kind of like go-to candy?
Well, he loves the Snickers. The Kit Kats are his favorite.
Kit Kats are yum.
Oh, I can't touch his Kit Kats,
Kit
which is
Kats,
fine.
Twix, and
He will
coconut
share the
anything.
Twix. He will share the Snickers. He will share the Reese's peanut butter cups. But I give him the Kit Kats. That is his favorite,
All right.
which I respect because he's generous with everything. Absolutely.
Sounds like
else.
it. I mean, I was definitely a bit more of a hoard.
I
wouldn't-
was too.
Yeah,
I
Kit
would
Kat was
stash
never a
it.
trade away from me.
Or my Reese's. Like my Reese's and my Twix,
Yep.
untouchable. Like I won't even. You could try to bribe me with half of your other like bag of candy. It's not happening. Even if I only had 2 Reese's cups and 3 Twix or whatever,
Oh.
it
Which is
wouldn't
funny
have
because
mattered.
you don't like peanut butter much.
I like it in those forms.
What's weird
love
is
peanut
I
butter.
like
I
the
love peanut
cups of Reese's, but I never liked those mini
little pieces?
the mini ones.
Oh, the
No,
mini cups.
the mini Reese's cups. Yeah,
What's the
Interesting.
difference of the big one?
It's
and
the
a
same.
it's the
freaking-
ratio. The ratio's off.
More chocolate
Yes.
than peanut butter.
Huh.
Reese's can only be the only cup because everyone else fucks up the ratio. It's just a fact. They had some kind of thing like called Drop of Honey or something that was just a peanut butter with honey wrapped in chocolate back in the 80s. It was terrible. It's like you fucked up the ratio. King size, big cup, you fucked up the ratio. You got to have the standard. You could just get the 4 cups and be happy because life is good.
That's why for Halloween they had
peanut
like the
chocolate.
individually wrapped cups,
Right.
but then they had the minis, and
Yeah, I
the minis
remember-
always sucked.
Yeah. I'll eat them. I never really kind of
I would
paid
too.
too much of attention, but I think you're right because the way they make those mini cups, they're thicker even though they're smaller, so you get
Well,
more
that's
peanut
more
butter
chocolate, less
per
peanut butter for
chocolate.
The small one.
I think it's the
Versus-
way they were packaged too, because the cups were always packaged in like the plastic, and the minis were packaged in foil, and they always tasted stale.
Oh,
That
look
was-
at you
that's
going
my-
even
What
deeper.
about candy corn?
Oh fuck!
No.
Candy corn.
That's,
I
hate
that's
candy
an
corn.
OCD thing for
Aiden
me.
loves candy corn. I can have like 3 of them and I want to puke.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
like
on
them
number
either.
4,
Either
I
you
want
love
to.
3
them or
is
you hate
too
them.
many.
It's like licorice.
The
Yes.
worst.
It's like eating a candle.
Talking about ratios, the worst is those candy corn pumpkins.
Yes, that's too much candy
yeah.
corn.
If you have one, you're good for like 5 years.
That is yes. That is
It's
it.
almost like, and I know we're not
2015.
eating
What
this.
are you actually eating? Because it almost doesn't even taste like candy.
No,
His
it doesn't
It's
even.
wax.
Take
It
the cake.
flakes
That's
like
the
wax.
worst.
Yeah.
You can see teeth marks in it. It's like this is not food.
No.
No
Yeah.
part of this is edible.
It's almost like, is this a display I'm eating?
It's like those wax lips or
This
teeth.
is going to be controversial.
Oh, those are the worst. Actually, I think that trumps everything. That almost beats raisins.
the wax.
The wax lips
teeth
that
or
people
lips
like, you
or
just
whatever
chew
they
them.
are.
I'm like, but what am I chewing?
No,
Like,
you're not supposed to chew them. You're
thought
supposed to
you're
bite off a
supposed to.
corner and then suck the sugar water
like
out
those little
and then
pop-
throw away the
do you remember
wax.
Those little pop things.
Yeah.
Oh, with the wax thing with the cola inside? No, those were terrible. You were supposed to eat the top off of that. It's wax.
See, people eat that shit. and It's nasty.
Yeah.
They're not supposed
It's
to.
America.
We eat
We
wax.
eat everything.
We'll eat crayon.
We what's in it. We without it.
I bet that's what it was. The kids that like eating crayons, that was probably their favorite. That was probably their
The
favorite
Ralph
candy.
Wiggum candy.
This is my
Yes.
Crayola candy.
God.
It's just like the
I
wax
like
lips.
candy.
Oy, oy, oy. All right. Well, do we have?
Almond joys are the best.
I'll second that.
Well, that was you
I love
didn't get to
coconut
say what
chocolate,
your
though.
favorite candy
Well,
was.
I don't know. Peanut butter, chocolate, almond joys. Those are pretty close.
Worst favorite, the wax
don't
lips,
know.
or are you talking like
Wax lips have to be the worst, but I think candy corn
candy corn?
is the worst.
I think we're all in agreement. Candy corn
Candy
can
corn
suck ass
is-
and get flushed
But
down
that
the
chalk
toilet.
shit might beat candy corn.
And
Oh,
then-
Necco.
Yeah.
Because
but
that just reminds me of my grandma would make it like it's a treat, and I'm like, I would rather eat a rock.
if Twix wants to sponsor something a little bit more local, hey, we're all on board for Twix.
Some comedian was like, they don't manufacture new candy corn. They
That was
just-
Lewis Black.
They,
Yeah.
they
He
just,
said all the
Oh, I
candy
love
corn that
that.
was ever made was made in 1911. They just collect it on
It is
November 1st
old.
and they wash it, but then they store it and then they distribute it out next year. Yeah, Lewis Black.
That's exactly
phenomenal
what happened.
bit.
That's
Yes.
true. You almost probably could rinse off candy corn and it not dissolve.
It's like Twix. You could have them for 50 years.
Twinkies.
Or Twinkies, yes.
Like, do you not know the difference between Twix
No,
and Twinkies?
Twix wouldn't last because I would eat them.
No, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Nobody has
Twinkies.
ever successfully tested the shelf
Right.
life of a Twix.
Twinkies have.
It's because it's never made it that far,
Never.
probably, unless it got forgotten about somewhere. and
Nope, never
somebody
happened.
died or
No.
something
No
like
one
that.
forgets Twix.
No.
You always find it.
Right.
You can
That
sense
was my
these
bad.
things.
I meant Twinkies.
Yes. Do we have something to spend for our
I
next topic,
downloaded
or-
a Spin the Bottle app. We'll see if it
Oh.
works.
Nice.
Are we ready to do that?
We could do that. We are over
Okay.
an hour in for sure.
The next topic is going to be decided by. How do I spin this motherfucker? Keep talking. It can't spin. Here we go. I got to do it by hand. By
Oh,
Licked it.
that's kind of nice.
Tammy.
Oh.
Tammy, I hope you came ready.
I did.
She
I
had a
think-
couple.
I do, but I think worst movie.
Worst movie.
Worst movie. Hateful movies.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hateful.
Well, just
Like, it makes me angry that it exists because
bad
that's
acting,
anything
just
with.
bad, like.
But also not movies that are so bad that they're good.
Yeah. 'cause-
Guilty pleasures. Like.
well,
Yeah.
that probably
That's
might
music,
come
though.
up then. I mean, it's hard to fill a full 45 minutes to an hour plus of
We could do worst
Just
music too.
worst.
Or guilty pleasures.
Pick a topic, Lynn.
Come on,
Tammy.
come on.
That was my two. I was like, worst movie or guilty pleasure music.
That's two separate shows.
That
Yeah.
is. Which one do you want to do first?
Or do you think we're too dumb to talk about just one of them?
Let's do guilty pleasure music.
Okay, we're switching it up. Now
Yeah,
we're gonna do
sorry.
guilty pleasure
Because
music.
now I'm all like, I got a lot of those.
I think I need to respin. This seems like a. Seems like she invalidated her own
I
suggestion.
did, but I really have a lot of them. Well, I actually have both. He's right. I have both.
Pick one.
I think music. Guilty.
Okay.
Guilty pleasure music.
Music you're afraid to like tell people you listen to,
Exactly.
but you are gonna rock the fuck out of it
Yeah.
in the car
Yeah.
or the shower or in your own head kind of thing. Okay. All right. Final thoughts on Halloween before we close this shit out.
I am pro.
Me too.
I'm pro Johnny Depp.
Oh,
You and I got problems, man.
We'll drink it out. Okay. Anything from you, Tam? Okay. Stay tuned next week as we talk guilty pleasure music.